Live, News 8 at 6 starts now.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Josh Scheinblum. People have gathered for a vigil in New Haven to honor a woman killed in an apparent hit and run. We'll have that story coming up.
This child went and started yelling, "Kill the Jew, kill the Jew, kill the Jew," while he's attacking my son.
A mother tells News 8 that her son was bullied because of his religion.
And the TSA is increasing security in the U.S. after the deadly Egypt air crash. We'll take a look at what's happening.
A New Haven family seeking justice. A 29-year-old mother is killed in a hit and run. Good evening, everyone. I'm Scott McDonald.
I'm Ann Nyberg. As we speak, several dozen people have gathered to remember the life that was cut short as police search for the driver who is responsible. It happened about 11:30 last evening near this corner of Kossuth and Ann Streets. That's where family and friends of Keonia Jenkins are gathering right now. Josh.
Good evening, Ann and Scott. We're here right now on scene of where this apparent hit and run took place. People are gathering right now for that vigil. It still hasn't begun yet, but I want to show you what things look like. You can see people are coming out. We've heard people talking, and right now they're putting down candles. Now, this is all in honor of a woman who was hit here around 11:30 last night, 29-year-old Keonia Jenkins. According to police, those that called 911 reported seeing Jenkins walk into the path of a vehicle before being hit. Now, witnesses say they described seeing a burgundy-colored minivan fleeing the scene. Now, she was taken to the hospital, Yale New Haven Hospital specifically, but despite the efforts of medical professionals, she passed away from her injuries. Now, the search for who may have been driving that vehicle is still ongoing at this hour. Police believe the vehicle to have been damaged based on evidence left behind right here at the scene. Now, we spoke to the victim's mother about what has occurred. Here's what she told us.
I was talking to my daughter on the phone, and then all of a sudden the phone went dead, and I kept trying to call my daughter's phone back, and no answer. And a few minutes later, my little brother called me and told me to come. I needed to come to the hospital. He didn't say why. He just said, come to the hospital. And when I got there, that's when I found out my baby. I'm never going to see her.
The medical examiner's office has ruled the victim's death accidental. She was the mother of a 10-year-old son. We'll have more on this story and what happened at today's vigil coming up tonight at 10 and 11 on News 8. For now, we're live in New Haven. Josh Scheinblum, News 8.
New tonight at 6, a Brantford Middle School student saying he was bullied because he is Jewish. Now those charges have prompted questions about the school's response. News 8's Noelle Gardner just back from Brantford, where she spoke with this boy's mother. Noelle.
Well, Scott, earlier this week, parents of students at Brantford's Walsh Intermediate School sounded off at the Board of Education meeting about the allegations of bullying. Tonight, we're hearing from one of those parents.
He slammed his head in the locker, then he got him knocked down to the ground. He started kicking him and punching him in his stomach and his ribs.
Orwita Visa is speaking out. She says her 12-year-old son was physically attacked and verbally threatened by other students at Walsh Intermediate. Orvita says the attack wasn't just physical. Her son was verbally assaulted because of his religion.
This child went and started yelling, "Kill the Jew, kill the Jew, kill the Jew," while he's attacking my son.
She says the school should have done more.
It's horrible. It's just a horrible, horrible feeling. Like, I blame the administration. I went in there and I cried, I yelled, I screamed.
Orwita says earlier this week she joined other parents at the Board of Education meeting who are also dealing with their children being bullied. They want the school to do more to address what they call a pattern of bullying. Orwita says she's worried about the safety of her son and other students.
He was afraid. He was humiliated. He was beat up in school. He was like, "Mommy," he's like, "I don't want to go." And I was like, "No, you're going. You're gonna be stronger than this. We're gonna beat this."
And I called the school superintendent office and reached out to the principal, but they haven't returned my calls. Reporting live tonight in the studio, Noelle Gardner, News 8.
A developing story out of Washington. The lockdown now has been lifted around the White House. Police say about 3:30 this afternoon, a man was shot by Secret Service officers after he reportedly approached a checkpoint near the mansion. He is said to be in critical condition. President Obama was not at the White House at the time. The all clear was given about an hour after the shooting.
And if you were headed on the Shoreline East train, you can expect a few delays because of a derailed freight train. Those heading from Old Saybrook to New London will have to hop off the train and take a bus. This is for both west and eastbound directions. Regular service expected to resume on Saturday, but you can always check your train status by Twitter, or you can call their customer service line. We have that information up at our website, WTNH.com.
Beautiful day outside today. We hope that you took some time to really enjoy the sunshine, because there's some stuff coming for the weekend. Isn't that correct, Fred?
That is correct. There is some stuff, and the stuff is some rain that's heading our way, but the timing on the rain might not be all bad as far as outdoor plans are concerned. Temperatures are about 70 to 76 right now in most spots out there this evening. Here's the big picture just to show you the storm systems that we are tracking for this weekend. A couple of them both heading our way at the same time. We'll stay mainly clear through this evening, and then by early tomorrow start to see some clouds showing up on our doorstep. Mild this evening with temperatures only very slowly falling into the upper 50s by midnight. This is 8 o'clock tomorrow morning. Notice those clouds arriving at the shoreline, then they thicken up by midday tomorrow. Likely though staying dry through most or all of the day tomorrow. Just some rain showers developing between 3 and 6 in the afternoon. At that point, they might not be widespread. Rainy conditions for a Saturday night, especially at the shoreline, and some showers hanging around on Sunday morning. We should get back to some dry weather on Sunday afternoon. We'll talk about the temperatures this weekend and a really big warm up heading our way next week, coming up in about 15 minutes.
And you can download the Storm Team 8 app for weather on the go.
New developments in the search for the Egyptian air flight that disappeared. Luggage and human remains were found in the area where that flight went missing. Now investigators have begun to check and question ground staff at the Charles de Gaulle Airport where that flight took off. 68 people perished on that flight, which was headed to Cairo. And the crash of the Egyptian airliner is prompting airports across the world to ramp up security. That includes some of the larger ones right here in the U.S. News 8's Brian Spiros reports from Bradley International.
What happened to that Egypt Air flight is a world away, but travelers here at Bradley say it is certainly on their mind as they get ready to take to the skies. And when you couple that with the fact that there are not enough TSA agents at these screening points, the whole flying experience can be rather unsettling for some passengers.
You just gotta say your prayers and hope all goes well.
That's the mindset of many travelers the day after Flight 804 disappeared over the Mediterranean. Terrorism, the possible cause. Airports across the country ramping up security. At Bradley, business as usual today. State police a little more visible around the terminal.
You have to do what you have to do. And I think we do a good job of, keeping our airlines safe.
But safety has become a little more complex. U.S. officials now warning that terrorists have come up with a new bomb hidden in laptop computers that's hard to detect.
If you can mold the explosive so that it just looks like another part of the laptop, it's very difficult for a screener who's only using X-ray to detect that explosive material.
Of course, long security lines still an issue. Getting better in some places, though. For travelers, they've never seen it this bad, especially at the bigger airports.
At the TSA pre-line, did not move for 20 minutes. Everybody is going, I'm going to miss my flight, I'm going to miss my flight. It was awful.
It's helpful to staffing because certainly waiting 3 hours or missing a flight because you're 3 hours, waiting in a line or trying to get through TSA is crazy.
Congress has advanced the TSA money to hire nearly 800 additional screeners, but the airlines say that's not enough. Reporting from Windsor Locks, Brian Spiros, News 8.
And there was a special lunch today for those who served our country. We'll have that coming up.
Plus, how to keep ticks out of your backyard. We've got your back with the best way to keep those ticks away.
And we're keeping an eye on how your Storm Team 8 forecast is shaping up for the weekend. We'll have that when we come back. An update on the former Norwich Psychiatric Hospital site in Preston. Residents there have unanimously voted to support the Connecticut town's proposal to sell the property along the Thames River to the Mohegan tribe. The tribe says it may spend up to $600 million on the project. It is expected to generate hundreds of jobs.
That's a big deal. And tomorrow is Armed Forces Day, a day to recognize all of the men and women who serve our nation. In honor of that, a luncheon was held today at the Aqua Turf Club in Southington. 6 members of the reserve community were awarded the Person of the Year award for their service. We spoke with those involved who say that every year this event just gets bigger and better.
Bigger turnout means that we're getting support from the community, and not just the veteran community, but those who support the armed forces in general.
So if you know a member of the armed services, you can show your support by thanking them for their service.
Now here we go. Ticks and what they carry, a big concern in the summer. We'll tell you what the experts say will keep them away from you. Fred?
It's a beautiful start to the weekend with temperatures in the 70s right now. In fact, let's take a live look at Stratford. Yeah, good evening to put the boat in the water, go for a little cruise. Not so great though this weekend. We'll time out the rain coming up next.
Ticks are thriving because of the mild winter. Before you go for a hike or head out into your yard, protect yourself. News 8's Sam Cantrell has more on how to protect your backyard from the ticks.
And you are completely right. Unfortunately, this is one of the worst seasons we've had in quite some time for ticks. And it oftentimes occurs right in your own backyard. There are some ways to prevent it, though. Let's take a closer look.
So the tick season started, the Lyme ticks, starts in April, goes through November, peaks in July.
Unfortunately for Connecticut residents, the worst months for ticks are also the best months for being outside. The middle of your yard is typically safe. So where are the ticks living?
It's more those shady, kind of wooded edges where there's stone walls, there's a lot of leaf litter.
But there are ways to help keep the ticks out of your yard. First off, keep leaf piles far away from your house and yard and use wood chips as a buffer.
Keeping a nice clean area is key. Ticks will get into areas where there's lots of moisture.
Keeping your yard clean is important, but the best way to get rid of ticks? Hire a professional to come and spray your yard.
We have a high-pressure hydraulic system that will blast into those areas 40 or 50 feet with a nice fine fog of material to really get underneath that leaf litter.
Just be aware of what's being sprayed before you hire someone.
Just insist that they're using an organic product.
And if you have been bitten by a tick,
You want to make sure you remove it properly, which means you want to use a tweezer, you want to get it at the head. You don't want to smash it because that increases the likelihood of transmitting the disease.
To check out the full interview on signs, severity, and symptoms of Lyme disease, you can head over to our website, WTNH.com. I'm meteorologist Sam Cantrell, News 8.
Okay, and a couple more tips. Don't forget to check your kids, maybe when they come inside, and pets as well. And you can put clothes in the dryer for 15 minutes to kill any ticks that might be on them.
Yeah, and they are out early this year. I actually picked one up in March.
They're on their dogs.
Running. You got one back in March. Okay.
It's the season.
Well, the weekend shaping up pretty good. Not bad.
You know, the timing of the rain is not terrible. If you're going to get some rain over the weekend, I guess at night is better than during the day, particularly here at the end of May. And we're starting the weekend with some beautiful weather. A lot of people getting out of work and enjoying this now. Temperatures between about 68 and 76 statewide. Right now, Stamford 70, Lordship 71, right around 70 at the shoreline, and mid-70s as you head inland. Here's how things will go for this evening. Notice how the temperature only slowly falls, so still in the 60s at 9 o'clock and upper 50s at 11 o'clock this evening. Nice and mild out there with mainly clear skies. We had kind of a smoky haze out there early today, and that was smoke from the Canadian wildfires drifting over the northeastern United States. Clouds, though, are going to be rolling in, clouds that we're used to seeing in the sky by early tomorrow, and a couple of storm systems on the way. One here, which is stronger now over the Ohio Valley. That one will be weakening, and a second one will be forming. It's just now generating over the water just east of the Carolinas, and that's heading in our general direction. It'll pass to our south, but come close enough to swipe us with some rain, primarily Saturday night. Here's Saturday, 9 o'clock in the morning. So there is time tomorrow. In fact, most of the day should be able to get that yard work done. If the kids have games, should not be a problem. birthday parties, whatever it is that's going on outdoors tomorrow. No real weather concerns through most or all of the day. A lot of clouds out there, yes, a cool breeze at the shoreline. Temperature inland getting close to 70 degrees. Some showers may develop between about 3 and 6 o'clock in the evening. I expect the steadier rain, though, to arrive after dark and continue through the night and into early Sunday morning. Rain could linger for a little bit, particularly in eastern Connecticut on Sunday. But by early afternoon, notice how most of the state is dry. Can't rule out a few stray showers. Temperatures not as warm as they typically are in late May, but it should be in the low to mid 60s, which is not terrible for this time of the year. It'll be mild this evening, as we showed you, and then turning cooler late at night, upper 40s to low 50s. Mainly clear skies to get a good look at the nearly full flower moon, which is full tomorrow night. Clouds arriving pretty quickly during the day tomorrow, as soon as say 8 or 9 o'clock in the morning at the shoreline, and then by late morning inland. 65 at the shoreline for a high, 70 inland, turning cooler though during the late afternoon, when those rain showers may begin to develop after say 3 or 4 o'clock in the afternoon. Steadiest rain likely at the shoreline and Saturday night. Sunday, plenty of clouds around, damp early in the day, 65 degrees on Sunday, more clouds on Monday in the mid 60s. Showery Tuesday, low to mid 60s, but then some really nice weather arrives Wednesday through the end of next work week. Temperatures in the 70s at the shoreline and low to mid 80s inland.
That's terrific. And today was great too. Many grills will be fired up tonight for dinner,
definitely.
I think.
Did you say flower moon?
Yeah, that's this month's moon.
I've never
is
heard of
referred
a
to as
flower
the flower
moon.
Well, it's the season when the flowers are coming out.
It makes
So there you
perfect sense.
There we go.
Thank
Learn
you.
something every day. How about Major League Baseball? The Mets pitcher.
Yeah, it's been a rough year so far for Mets starting pitcher Matt Harvey. Last night may have been the worst. The Mystic native was booed off the mound. The Nationals got to Harvey for 9 runs. Not all were his fault. At 3-6 this year, Harvey is not having the bounce-back year many thought he would. He's giving up nearly 6 runs per game. After Thursday's game, Mets manager Terry Collins said there was a possibility the team would skip Harvey's next start. Reportedly, the Mets nixed that idea today, and Harvey will make that next start, which happens to be in Washington. You can read more about it over on Sports Edge. Also, check out the article by Joel Alderman on the 35th anniversary of what some call the greatest college baseball game ever played. It's over at Yale Field. It involved a pair of future Mets as well, Ron Darling of Yale and Frank Viola of St. John's. The NCAA Championships, it's become the standard for the women's crew team at Yale. Next week, they hope to make a run at the national championship. The Bulldogs on the water early this morning. Yale qualified last weekend when the Elis finished 3rd at the Ivy League Championships. Head coach Will Porter has encouraged his team to grow as a unit, and it's really showing in the water. They're pretty pumped to be heading to California for a shot at the title.
Really excited, so excited. California's awesome. A bunch of us were there last year. The weather's obviously beautiful, but the racing is so fast and so exciting. It's just an awesome thing to be a part of.
They've thrown themselves into it with enthusiasm. They never hesitate to impress me.
Sometimes we joke about it, but it's like you wake up before classes in the morning, get to spend an hour with your best friends, like listening to music and working out.
We'll have more on the ladies of Yale tonight on Sports Edge at 11:15 right here on News 8. All right, time for a quick break. When we come back, how about the year Hamden baseball has had? The best in nearly 40 years for the program. I'll tell you all about it when we return. There may not be a better high school baseball story in the state than the dream season being played out right now by the guys at Hamden High. The Green Dragons just wrapped up another 18-win season. Last time they did that was 1977. I guarantee none of those guys were alive. Now it's off to the Southern Connecticut Conference, then the state playoffs. If they want to follow exactly in the footsteps of that 77 Dragons team, a state championship would be the punctuation on the season.
We don't fear anybody, and we're aggressive.
Nobody on this team ever doubts that we're going to win. So, you know, it's an attitude that we bring to the field.
We have a lot of competitive players on this team. We all try to one-up each other as best we can, and then the competition we have for each other is just, it's awesome.
The Green Dragons are the #2 seed in both the SEC tournament and the Class LL playoffs. Not long ago, George Springer was a Connecticut high school standout. Now he patrols Major League outfields. And check out this catch here. Former UConn standout up and over the wall to rob White Sox slugger Jose Abreu of a home run, and more importantly, rob me of many fantasy points in my baseball league. But I still like George Springer because he's a great guy.
It's going to be a catch of the year, I think.
Yeah.
That's
he's always turning in great catches like that.
I can't believe you admitted that you're in trouble.
dork.
There you go.
All right, that's
right.
pretty awesome.
Let's check with
And in
Fred.
this week's least shocking news. All right, here's the weekend forecast. All week long, we'll be telling you the best chance of some rain is Saturday night. That still looks like the case. Cloudy skies on Saturday, but you should have a dry day until at least 3 or 4 o'clock in the afternoon, maybe even later than that. Temperatures in the 60s on average tomorrow, might get to 70 inland, but low to mid 60s at the shoreline. Heading into Sunday, some rain in the morning. Mainly cloudy in the afternoon, spotty showers possible, high temperatures in the mid 60s. Pretty big warm up is ahead of us for the middle of next week as we head into Memorial Day weekend. The temperature inland is going to be in the 80s by Wednesday of next week and in the 70s at the shoreline.
That's setting up real nice for the holiday weekend. Great. Okay, that's our time. Remember, you get all the news, weather, traffic online at WTNH.com.
Have a great night. See you later.